County Commissioner. MIA again. Planning Commission, Roger.
Yes, better meetings, and a big thank you to the board for getting us the, master plan that we needed. We had a pretty good productive meeting. We went over the ABD or the Robert Rams, for the sound. It was brought to my attention after the meeting and after the vote, about some of the questions we had about Robert Rand. Ann was one of them that brought one up, and I had some others brought up too, but we voted for Robert Rand for the, sound, engineer to come to see us. But I'd really like to, I think, see what these new, take it back to the planning commission and vote on whether we're gonna use him or not with the new, information that I found out on. So, I would say we're gonna probably wanna hold off on that. We've got the survey questions, I kind of wrote up and changed some of the wording in that. I really think that's gonna be beneficial for us to, a lot of the questions on there as part of our master plan, so maybe even updating our master plan, we can go off of that survey. So I think that's gonna be a good idea for us. We did, some changes to the wind ordinance. I've got it sent off to, Kyle to try and see what he thinks of some of the changes we're gonna make sure that we can make them as they're worded, and go from there. Other than that, we had, for the new business, we had, meeting dates for 2022, and we left them the same. And then be the solar ordinance, we're wanting to discuss getting our solar ordinance started, so. Other than that, we went to the round table, and, we had a lot of people that were, concerned about any concrete being left in the ground for these turbines. Also, we had another one that was wondering what it would take to get Cannonsville opened up from the highway back to Coral or Bailey Road. Right in that area would make it a lot easier, might bring in more business. So we had a question on that. A lot on the counting of the survey, the ballots for the survey, who was gonna do it, and, such on as that, so. Other than that, I don't see much other that went on there, so, unless anybody else got anything bad?
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
since we voted to have Robert Rand, I had already sent an email out to him, and he is getting us a quote, and here's our approved minutes from last month. And for February, because he is available, so he is doing that since we voted on it as a commission and said that we'd do it. I sent the email to him, and he's getting back with us on a date. Looks like February 9th, he would be available.
Have you got a price or anything? That's what you were supposed to get us a quote.
Yes,
come back to
because
us with.
we gave you a quote last month of $200 an hour, which was the same as the other firm. So it would be exactly the same, so probably a Zoom presentation. He's gonna get back to me and let me know, so it might be approximately an hour's worth or perhaps 2 hours worth of time.
I also have information that he is affiliated with, Kevin Martis. That's my reasoning for questioning whether we want him or not.
And that was presented at the commission meeting.
We'd asked you a question about it, and you did not give us a definite answer. All you did was told us about all of his.
I gave you
Yeah,
his,
resume.
I gave the resume that was presented to me.
Right.
And that's the information that we went from.
But it didn't show.
That has nothing to do with anything, Roger. His resume.
Roger,
All he's gotta do is define
the-
things.
the price is the same for both of them?
That is correct.
Are you guys expecting the same amount of hours that you would utilize both of them?
Correct.
Probably.
I
Can we
asked
just-
him, when I sent him the emails that went to him said that the commission was looking for, explanation of definitions in more of a layman's term.
Yeah.
And just something simple with a PDF, possible presentation so that we could follow along.
And this would be at the planning commission meeting, or are you
This would
guys
be
gonna
a
meet
special-
separate?
Special meeting.
A special
Okay.
meeting that we would call just specifically for that, and it'd be via Zoom. So we
Okay.
wouldn't have to pay any travel expenses. And, you know, we would just have to have the Ethernet cord hooked up to my computer and
Yeah,
there we go. And that's what I asked for, was just something to explain the simple.
and you guys are doing this to learn everything you can from the sound engineers.
Trying to get the
Would you
different-
guys
different
like to
definition.
listen to both of them? If the board would
No.
like to
No.
vote to have both of them
No,
at two different
We've
meetings?
spent a ton of money on this.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is like, we spend a lot of money and we go month to month and we keep spending more and more, like, let's
Well,
make a
that's why
decision
I was
and just
trying not
go
to
with
spend
it.
more money than we already have,
Yeah,
and making it simple and saying, if we get the definitions explained to us in a more layman's term, then we can make a informed decision and move on from there, so that we can get it to you guys, and then we can have our public hearing be done. So that we're not dragging this out until next September.
well, I mean, if we drag it out till next September, you're gonna be talking about how much more money, where if we can just make a decision on something tonight and be
That's what I'm
done,
saying, so
yeah.
that's what I was trying to, that's why when we voted
And we would be,
on last Thursday, if you have him, I sent the email and said, hey, what's your schedule like? And can you get me a quote of how much time? So.
yeah,
And that's what he's working up the presentation, cause he asked what kind of questions we had, and I said, just better explanation of the terms, in
Okay.
layman's terms. That's all I asked for.
well, in light of what Roger has found out, which I don't know what it is, I think we need to consider Roger wanting to hold off. Also, we had a question about parks and who was responsible for them, I said I would find out. Turns out that the township is responsible for Coral and Truffant Park, both Veterans Park, and there's a strip of property in front of the Ball Diamond at, Truffant by the road there that they're responsible for. So it's not the road commission that does our parks, it's us. Okay, so, I don't remember why we brought it up, but I said I'd find out who.
It's on our survey.
That's right, and I said I'd find out who's in charge, and I'd tell them
Yeah,
tonight.
township owns all that property.
Okay, I didn't know, I thought a while back, I seen something about road commission took care of the park over there. It was quite a while ago though, so I don't know if it switched back to the township or
Nope, it's always been
really.
25 years ago. I used to mow them back to the township back then, so I know it's been a long time.
Maybe it's back when I was a kid, but I don't know. We do have another estimate here. I think, like Ben says, I think maybe listening to both would be a good idea. That way, there's no question. If the board would do that for us, I think we'll get a lot better answers. I also really think that, we've got some issues with, conflict of interest questioning. I would really like to get our lawyer in there for our next meeting, so that we can go over some of these conflicts of interest questions. If that's possible for the board to allow us to have.
Can you get them in via Zoom? That's four less hours.
Yep, he said he'd Zoom, do it on Zoom.
One quick question.
I've got the bylaws right here, I can read him the conflict of interest, we don't need the lawyer.
Okay. Yeah, we've been through them all. I mean, we know them, we've heard them.
I mean, that's very cut and dry. Section B of our bylaws, conflict of interest as defined and a planning commission member shall declare a conflict of interest and abstain from participating in planning commission deliberations and voting on a request when, number one, an immediate family member is involved in any request which the planning commission is asked to decide. Immediate family member shall include planning commission member's spouse, children, including adopted, and their spouses, stepchildren, and their spouses, grandchildren, and their spouses, parents and step-parents, brothers and sisters, their spouses, grandparents, parents-in-law, grandparents-in-law, or any person residing in a planning commission member's household. Number two, the planning commission member has a business or financial interest in the property involved in the request, or has a business or financial interest in the applicant's company, agency, or association. There's no reason for a lawyer. This is stuff that you guys have voted in already. It's pretty cut and dry.
And it is, and our lawyers advised us that, and this isn't where we need to be discussing this, but anyway, our lawyers advised us
Is that
that,
our lawyer too?
don't start.
Just asking. He's asking a question, I'm just asking a question.
All right, this isn't public comment, I shouldn't even be entertaining this, but I'm gonna answer the question right now. We do not have conflict until there is a specific or a specific request in for a specific piece of property. At this time, we're covering the whole township-wide ordinance. So everybody's gonna have conflicts with it, both sides of the aisle, both people, anybody, neighbors, friends, everybody's got conflicts with different things. When it gets down to a specific, when we wanna put one at Roger Benton's house, then him and his neighbors and anybody that's on the board have conflict of interest with it. So, based on what our lawyers told us, and we've had it here in our meeting, he's discussed it in public here, he's discussed it at the PC meetings, that's how our policy is written and that's how we stand. So. Did you make a motion then, Ben? Was that here or what?
I would make a motion to allow the planning commission to schedule both sound engineers. I think that would be the fairest option to both sides, for them to learn everything they can.
Is there support? Supported by June. Got a motion on the table to allow the PC to have both sound engineers come in. Do we need to have a time frame on that? Or,
Do one month and do one the next, or?
I just meant for
I guess
6 hours or 2 hours or
Oh.
5 minutes or
2 hours probably.
just for,
I think that would be
costs,
Plenty.
so. Okay,
no more than 2 hours.
so allow the planning commission to have both sound engineers come or do it Zoom, however it works out for you, for a 2 hour period, up to 2 hours. And it's moved and supported. Any discussion? Not I'll entertain a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. So. Do you have anything else? I forget.
Just that, we're making the laws for our township, or we're trying to make the laws for our township, and I see the need for an attorney there when we need him. There was a lot of questions brought up in this last one. I got a hold of him, talked to him for a while, I don't know if that counts as a consultation, but he answered a lot of my questions.
Oh, yes, it does.
So-
Anytime we talk to him, and that's,
Me and you have been in the loop on this, so.
I need, that's one thing that, anytime we can go anything with the lawyer, please CC me in on it, please. Because every time any 5 minutes is $20-50. I mean, it's, yeah, so.
6250.
Yeah, so we can keep all that to a minimum, and so, cause he keeps calling me and asking me, well, I'm getting stuff from this person, what do you want me to deal with, and so, we need to,
I can show you, he's not complaining, it's lying in his pockets.
well, but,
$50,000, it's lying in his pockets, trust me.
right, okay. Alright, any discussion about lawyer at the next meeting?
Do they want it for the next meeting?
I don't think it's needed.
I really, if we can zoom in when we need to, if we're at a meeting and we need to zoom in, do we contact you first, or,
Let me get with him, I will get with Kyle and see what,
okay, see what.
how he
the
wants to work that, if
best
he can
way
do
of
that,
doing
and,
something. 'Cause we had, I remember when we were starting this, before we had any confrontation, we were actually calling him on the phone if we had a question about something that was legal that we weren't for sure on, we called him.
I was his
And we
boss,
asked
but
him-
yeah,
And we asked him questions, but that was to get started on this whole thing too, so.
right, that was Bill Fahey.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, would that cause a conflict with what we voted on a meeting or two ago about the board voting to have the lawyer there, or does the Zoom
Right,
meeting?
that's why I figured I better bring it up, the situations that we're falling into.
Yeah, cause I think he was in a fire at that meeting.
Yeah,
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 so that's 2 meetings ago.
yeah.
I would say if you can get them to let you call him if you need them, then let them call him at a meeting if you can get permission for that, but I wouldn't say
Having them at
having
the
a
meeting.
set Zoom for 2 hours or the 6 hours driving time.
No, basically legal questions, if we have legal questions, like the one on,
right. Let me talk to Kyle and see what he recommends and how he would wanna handle it, so. I mean, we're gonna spend the money whether we have him here or we keep contacting him and going back and forth with him there, so, other than his
Still a
travel
lot less
time.
by doing it.
Doesn't this whole thing though have to be voted on to the planning commission and then brought to you? what Roger's talking about right now? I mean,
What,
there's no
make the new
vote from the
ordinance?
planning commission.
No,
Oh,
the
okay,
planning commission is basically an advisory board to the,
okay, I'm just
Township board.
asking.
so all the final decisions have to go through
The board.
the board. So, sorry, that's the way it is. So, no, I'm gonna talk to, I'll talk to Kyle and see what's the best way to handle that, so. Alright. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Zoning administrator, Dave.
I turned in, last month you guys, I called it in, reported there were 3 permits, and month of December there were none. That's it.
Alright, thank you. Glad to see you're here and kicking. So, right side up again. So, the assessor, Michael is still not feeling well. I can barely understand him, so he texted me. Let me pull up the text and so I can read it correctly. He says, based on County Equalization Study 2022, assessments as a group of properties are going to be as follow. Agricultural properties are approximately up 20%, commercial up approximately 22%, and residential up approximately 13%. So, look forward to that nice letter from June with the updated higher taxes. You're trying to run a popularity contest, aren't you? So,
I lost.
other than that, board review goes the second or third, I forget, of February, it's a Wednesday, for our mandatory training up to Morley Stanwood. That'll cover our requirements for the year. And I think that's about it. March board review will be sometime in March. Michael's working on a schedule right now, trying to get them all figured out when he's gonna do when, so we'll put that on the website as soon as we know. Community center and bus garage, we forgot to type that, I forgot to add that on when we did the updates. I didn't get anything from Kathy. We had $2,800.20 worth of storage in the bus garage this winter. I've got 4 campers, 2 boats, a car, 4 pontoon boats, and a pop-up camper. So, we got them stacked in there like cordwood. There's 3 doors wide and I got 4 rows of stuff in there, so it's been, eventful here. We got her about as full as we can get her. Fire board, Ben.
There were 6 runs made in Maple Valley. There were 5 down power lines and 1 vehicle accident. The tender truck got pushed out another 2 months, the first tender truck.
April and May.
And they did some work on the furnace and the treatment fire barn.
Yep.
So, that is it.
Alright, thank you, sir. Old business, COVID money. We've got the money, we've set it up in a separate account now. I'm going to do I don't remember if it's the state of Michigan or an MTA Zoom meeting tomorrow. They've come out with their final list of, or final set of rules, they've changed them again. So there's, supposedly this is the final time, so we're supposed to catch up tomorrow and find out what we can and can't do with the money. So, like I said, anybody's got any ideas or anything? We've had stuff from the parks to, updating our building here, what I was trying to remember what else, I got a whole list going in my office, so we'll start looking at that as soon as we figure out what we can do. Veterans Park, no updates, still haven't heard nothing from the courts yet. Anybody got any new business? Reading of the bills, check number 884 through 8902 for the amount of $10,797.23. Entertain a motion to pay the bills. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Then moved and seconded to pay the bills in the amount of $10,797.23. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. They are supposed to be getting a hold of me here this month or the first of next month too about the recommendations on what the county recommends for road work, so, and what they're gonna start, how they'll match funds and that kind of stuff, so we'll start getting some of that stuff to filter in here shortly. Items of interest. Other than that, I guess we'll go to round table. Yes, sir.
Well, I read the bylaws, and you said
Could you
basically.
state your name and address, please?
J.M. Olson. You need my address?
No, just
Big loud. Well, you said that the lawyer guided you to that, well, everybody's gonna have a conflict of interest until it comes to a specific property. That's not how the law is written right here. I don't care what he tells you. If you have a lease signed for Roger's parents or yours or whoever, you're conflicted by our laws, you can't vote. We just had 3 motions brought up at the planning commission, all shot down by 2 people that couldn't vote, by our own bylaws. We don't need a lawyer to tell you that, it's right there, black and white. Now, those 3 motions should have passed 2-1. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. $50,038.05 to the law firm. Never a vote by the board to approve it. You've had a one-time vote to have the ordinance reviewed for $900. How are we to $50,038? That's misappropriation of taxpayer funds. You don't have that unilateral authority. Yet, it's still going on. Lee tried to rein it in. It's damn near doubled since he put it to where the lawyer couldn't come without a board approval. That's fraud. Let me read you another one. Criminal malfeasance. Intentionally doing something either legally or morally wrong, which one had no right to do. It always involves dishonesty, illegality, or knowingly exceeding authority for improper reasons. What you've done falls under that pretty damn good. Now, I'm not one to say things or make a stink, but either we run by the laws and not by improper guidance, by a conflicted lawyer's office that was put to you by the Michigan Township Association by another lease payer. $50,000 of our taxpayer money's been wasted without a vote. Where's our say in this? We all gotta live here.
The board has a say.
Either we start following the laws, or I'm gonna start filing criminal charges.
The board has a say.
Thank you.
Because this, forgive me, but this is getting ridiculous. We went to the PC meeting, compromise was brought up. Nobody wanted to listen to anything. Everybody's minds are made up, but it sure ain't the voice of the people. There's no compromise. They had a 3-mile. Okay, they shot that down. So Andy asked for 1.5 miles. And instead of compromise, which to me that's compromise, then all of a sudden, well, why don't we go from a 1/2 mile to 3 times setback like a... I mean, this is what we gotta deal with? We're not saying people can't do this. We just want some compromise here, but nobody wants to listen.
Thank you.
All right?
Anybody else?
The board is elected by the people. If we had the people do all the voting, nothing would ever pass.
Okay, thank you.
So we vote.
Will you tell everybody who you are, please?
Oh, Roger Bettman. But again, we vote you people to run the township. That's your job. And you do it the best way you can. So if we had everybody vote for every issue, nothing would happen. So we expect you to do the right thing, and that's why we voted for you. And in my opinion, you're doing it. One thing, I'll just add one thing. The sidewalks in Trufitt, people didn't want it. It's a blessing to the businesses. You'll attract more business now because there's places to park. You got a new building being built by the furniture place. I want to compliment you on what you're doing. One thing I'll say to warn you, we have a lot of money in the fund, and believe me, I'm a Dutchman. I don't spend. But again, you need a safety net, but invest, if you can, invest more of that money into our community. And we'll see the benefit with more people coming in here, more business. The town might just flourish. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Penny Bassett, Maple Valley. I just have a question about the bills, this law firm on here. Who is this law firm that $2,900 was sent to.
That part, yeah, that's the veterans part. Rasmussen Law, and more. That's who they've been dealing with for the veterans part.
And so what was that, I mean, I guess, what's it for?
The being sued to reclaim the park.
Okay, thank you.
That's been
Just-
going on since the last commission.
Well, I know, I can remember hearing about it,
Yeah.
but there's never been anything said about,
He hadn't known this because he was waiting to find out what, and it's still been dragging out, and like, I gotta finally bill you for this last year.
and I had
so,
asked if
everybody-
last meeting, I had asked if there were any other lawyers besides Fahey, and I was told no, so when I saw
No, you were not told that.
that you guys didn't have any other lawyers besides Fahey, you said Fahey was your only, I asked specifically last month.
No, that's not correct. We talked about Rasmussen Law. Jordan, been our lawyer on that.
I'm not
for-
saying you didn't talk about it, I'm just saying, I asked you last month if you had any lawyers besides Fahey, because I knew you had Fahey on our case, and when Elizabeth brought up stuff, or pulled up stuff and got her FOIA, it says the Bassett Law case, and it says Wind in the paperwork that Elizabeth got, and we were curious as to why it would say Wind with us, if you had, and we're wondering if you had more than one law firm, and I was told, no, your law firm was Fahey, and that's why they were also the one on this case. I was told that was your own, I specifically asked, and you
Okay.
told me, and that's why I was asking where another law firm came in at.
I guess, I must have misspoke if that was the case. I don't know what I said, I guess. But we have Fahey's representing us for some stuff and Rasmussen Law. Those are the only two lawyers that we're dealing with at this time.
And Rasmussen Law is only with the veterans part,
Mm-hmm.
and Fahey does everything else for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Stephen Polson, Mix Valley Township. I'd like to comment on the most recent article in Saturday's Greenville Daily News, The Guest View by Dan Paris. It was called The New Age of Propaganda. I found it very informative and accurate, especially the part where it talks about renewable energy is market driven because it is 1/2 the cost of coal and 1/3 the cost of nuclear. Also, I'd like to point out that he said in the age of social media, well, things is not vetted for accuracy or for the truth. And I think it was a very good article, and if you get a chance to read it, you'd learn a few things. Thank you.
Anybody else? Sure. Well, you can talk to the board.
Sherry Olson, Maple Valley Township. I was just looking at a thing on Michigan's energy site. Wind and solar were less than 4% generated for that month. So, let's talk propaganda about how much power it's gonna give our state. Less than 4%, really?
Thank you. Anyone else?
Robin Polson, Maple Valley. I was just wondering what your protocol is for, someone approaching the table without permission and getting in somebody's face on the board of the members.
It shouldn't happen, but it happens.
And nobody speaks up, and it happened and Roger never said a word. I was just wondering if you and whoever else may be conflicted, I'm talking board and planning commission, are you guys using Fahey as your own attorneys, taking advice from Fahey for yourselves?
Why do I need a lawyer for it so far?
I'm just talking about conflicted people on any of you, you know you are, but in a roundabout way.
Okay.
If you're taking advice from Fahey's office, or if you have your own law firm, you yourself paying out of your own pocket, or are you using our money?
I don't know why I would have anything to do with it.
Well, I mean, he's telling you that you're not conflicted and that you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. We know all about it.
He
I'm just,
represents the board, yes. He represents the township. He tells us, yes.
okay, got that one.
Okay. Anything else? Your
Yep,
husband
just a
likes to
second,
speak.
I'm not done.
Hold on, Mike.
During the planning commission meeting, Andy asked Roger about one day for our meeting day next month. Obviously, her and Dennis Delaney have something going on, and she just asked if she could have the have him approve either a day before, a day after, the week before, the week after. And not any of them could compromise on that either. I mean, you can't move the day just to be nice. You know, one day ahead, one day, or a week ahead, or a week back. I just thought that was pretty selfish. And of course, Ann's remark was it was already on your phone, she wasn't gonna move it anyway, so.
Anything else?
That's it.
Yep.
Mike, still got your hand up?
Big Valley, my apologies. Here Roger was knocking, Kevin Martis of being whatever, and he's in bed with Apex, so he stands to gain from this project, just like you. Don't shake your head. After our last meeting, John, you and I had a little conversation, and you told me not to F with you. Could you explain to me what that meant? Did you not say that? Did you say that to me, John?
Okay, I'm not gonna discuss that.
No, but no, you and I know what was said.
Right,
You know.
you came up
So
and
does
approached
that
me,
go,
yes.
yes, does that go for the rest of the constituents here? Not to F with you because they don't agree with your agenda? You crossed the line,
Thank you.
John. No, John, I get 3 minutes. Don't try to
Hurry
rush
up,
me
John.
off. Don't
Get
tell me to
done.
hurry up. You crossed the line. You should resign. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I crossed
And you
the
got
line.
this lady over here rushing the board. Roger sits there, kicks me out of a meeting, but he'll let her rush the board, run her mouth, and says nothing. Now, I asked Roger about being fair at the last meeting. Anything they've done at that last meeting, nothing was fair. You wanna be fair, this project ain't gonna happen until this is fair for everybody, John. Everybody. Nobody is more important in this room than the next person, am I right? You got nothing to say, do you?
I'm not gonna.
I know.
Confer.
You get what I'm saying here, John?
I do, Mike.
Thank you.
Someone else?
On Robin's comment about, Andy and Dennis wanting the date switched for the meeting. I did not say I couldn't switch, I switch stuff on my phone all the time. If that was the case, then we would be switching dates quite often here the last few months. I mean, Lee couldn't be here twice. This time there was somebody, Dennis Stokowski couldn't be here. We'd be switching dates and times and meetings all the time. For everybody for the reasons that they couldn't come.
But aren't
So
they
this
gonna be
really
gone?
isn't anything, this isn't really anything against Andy and Dennis wanting the time off. It's just, if you wanna do something, go do it. We'll be fine.
They're doing township business.
That doesn't make any difference. We're not doing it. I don't even know what business they've got that they're doing, so.
It's a month in advance, that's the point.
Thank you, John.
Anyone else? Now, entertain a motion to adjourn? Second. Been moved and seconded to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.